Thank you so much for joining us on our first episode of Let's Chat with Wholeness Money. My name is Patricia, and I'm having a wonderful guest with me today, and she'll be talking so much. She'll be sharing with us a number of stuff. Today, we shall be talking about one of our blog posts, how to balance life and kids as a young mom. If you've checked out our website, www.wholenessmoney.com, I'm sure you've seen all this. You've read some of our posts, you've read some of our blog posts, but today we shall be discussing one of them in detail, and I'll be sharing with you with our guests, Sneha, and she'll talk more to us about herself. I won't talk much. Sneha, come on, tell us.
Thank you, Patricia. Thank you for having me.
What's your name?
Yes, I have two little kids. One is a 4-year-old and then a 2-year-old, and sort of a young mama.
Sort of
some gray hairs, but
okay.
Sort of young.
So today we shall be discussing and helping out. We are trying to help out other young moms out there. So I want to get what's your story? How far did you go with education? When did you get married? When did you have kids? Were you ready? Just tell us a story of who is Neha and what can we expect from her.
I met my husband when we were in university, and he's a good man. That's a very, very important thing, as you will know. Patricia also has a very good man. And it's just, I think, it's one thing when you're dating or even just married, but it's a very important thing to have a great partner when you're raising a child. For me, I felt like the partnership and your just life is easier and happier when you're with the right person doing all these new adventures, and your respect for each other, and the joy of doing all these things increases when it's with the right person. So that, yes, thank God. Yes, and what was the other thing? When did we have the children?
Level of education first.
Yes, I had just finished my PhD, and then I had my first child. So that was a blessing, because of course everybody knows it's hard to do much with a newborn baby. So thank God I was able to finish my everything with my PhD before my son came, and then yes, it was no sleep and all the things that all new moms know, and then the little one was such a good baby. We thought, we could do it again. So we had it. Yes, he was very good, and he was such a good baby. So we had another one, and it's a good thing, but it is obviously challenging and overwhelming.
So when you had your firstborn, when you had completed your education, she had a PhD. So let's talk more. Were you really ready, before you had this kid? Yes, you had made the love of your life, but were you really ready mentally and ready financially? Because I believe there are women out there that maybe have given birth to kids but they really weren't ready. Maybe they wanted to have a career first. They wanted to do something with their lives first before they go into this. But tell us, were you really ready for this? And if you were, how can you help someone out there?
I wouldn't say ready, because I had never really had any experience with other kids. Like my mother-in-law, she has a big family, and so when she was 13, she was helping with the other little kids. So she practically helped raise her little brothers. So people like that have experience with kids, but I did not. I had barely held babies in my life. I had no idea. It was just don't break it, sort of thing with holding the new baby. So I had no real experience in handling babies, and my husband also did not really have much experience.
It's the first time, and
So we were putting diapers on the teddy bear to learn, because we didn't know what it was, and watching YouTube videos to figure out these things. So no, of course we didn't know all the real challenges, but we were ready in that, you know, we had faith in each other and in God, and that's what my husband kept saying, like in the beginning. Of course, there's, you know, all this worry, like, you know, are we old and mature enough to be parents, like being responsible for a little person, all these things. So he would always tell me that, you know, you have to have faith in God, that we will rise to the occasion and God will give us strength to do what we need to do. And of course, I think that's the thing, and that whenever I was intimidated by the prospects of doing this whole parenting gig, he would give me comfort when he was you know, just scared of something, I would be able to support. And so that way we were able, that was like the pregnancy time when you're so anxious about, you know, because you don't know what is coming. So we were able to help each other in that way. But of course everybody goes through the anxiety, and I wouldn't say that, you know, we were like on top of it. No, we weren't.
So like, if you've checked out our blog posts, you must have, if you've checked it out, you must have read my story. My story was a bit different from Sneha's. I gave birth at 23. I wasn't really ready, but I went through it. So you can as well do it. However, we are still going ahead. How far that I want to know, like, did you hope, like, before you had these kids, did you have this hope, like, yes, you did a PhD, you had a PhD, but did you have the hope and the need to have a career before having kids, or did you be like, I will obviously do it after having kids. I'm not thinking about a career right now. I'll do it after having my kids.
Well, the funny thing is, I never thought of kids so much until I had kids. Because when I was younger, my singular focus was my career. I went to law school, then I did a master's, then I did a PhD. All of that by the time I was 27, which means, you know, because there was no time for anything. And you need to really want it so bad to be able to put that much of your energy and effort into finishing your education. So I didn't really think of kids, like, you know, I know some, even my some of my family members, like little kids saying, when I'm old, I want to have twins, and like, you know, they're little, but that's something they want, but it was not something I ever wanted.
Did you think about the career? Did you want a career?
Yes.
You wanted a career?
Yes, that's all I thought about, and that because, you know, I wanted to have a career, make a lot of money, take my parents all over the world, you know, and
that's a good thing.
Yes, and I wanted to take my parents, like, to all the adventure, great places that there is in the world. That's what I wanted. I wanted to do everything, make them proud, and celebrate all the good things with my parents. And that's what I wanted. And then this little baby comes, and my God, like, so you know, yes, it is the greatest blessing, of course. The people that you love are truly, I feel, the greatest blessing in your life. And more than to be loved, I think, to have somebody that you love, and it's such a rewarding thing. And then after I had my baby, I was like, my goodness, you know, it would have been a terrible thing to miss out on it. And I was so happy and grateful, and I am. And so no, before having the kids, no, that was not what I thought. But after having it, I will say it's like the singular most important thing in my life.
Okay. So now, Sneha, you've told us about everything that you've talked about at the moment, but now what's your state as a mom? Like, what is your current state? Are you a stay-home mom? Are you a working mom? Are you both?
I do a little bit of my, you know, writing and stuff, but that's just like some people write their diary. I wouldn't say anything really toward my career, no. But because my kids are very young, and hopefully in the next year or so, I hope to get back into full-time working, because my daughter will be ready for school as well, and she will be 3 and my son is 4, so they're old enough and they have to go to school, so then I feel, you know, not so guilty. So yes, I hope to get back to it, but right now it's just trying to enjoy every moment of them being little and me having this time with them.
I know. So what would you tell someone out there? Is it okay? how are you finding it as a stay-home mom? Because I'm a stay-home mom as well, but how are you finding it as a stay-home mom? Is it okay to be a stay-home mom? Is it okay to be a working mom? Because maybe there is someone out there who is like, I'm a working mom, I wake up every day and I leave my kids at home, and then I have to go to work and find, you know, and then I have to come back late in the evening when maybe they are sleeping or something. But I want, what advice can you give someone out there who is watching? They don't know whether they are doing it right, or whether what is right, staying home or going to work, or doing them both. They are not really sure of what they're supposed to be doing. And what advice do you give them?
I think everybody's situation is different, and I think the very basic thing is that people need to be, especially women, like kind to each other and be respectful of each other and be respectful of each other's choices and be supportive. So, you know, if you know people in your life who are working or staying home, whatever it is, that all you can do is really be kind to one another. And as it is, life is hard, and so many things are out of our control, and so many circumstances and people are harsh. So when you come into a situation, you can just be kind. I think that helps everybody. And I think, you know, a lot of people don't have the choice to stay home and take care of their kids all the time. They have to work to support the kids, and that's something they do with a big guilty heart. So, you know, cheers to those people who are doing what is right for their family, because they have to do it. And, you know, some of us have the option to stay and take care of our kids, and thank God for that. But that also means, you know, sometimes, you know, for the 100th time you have to ask, do you have a real job? Are you having it? You know, do you work? Well, yes, you're working like from the time you get up till you go to bed. You're working like around the house, 10 hours of dishes and 20 hours of cleaning, and then more of the other stuff. Of course, you're working on stuff, but sometimes, you know, when people ask these things, it kind of maybe is a little hurtful, because some days, you know, after doing chores for like 4 days straight, you feel like your brain cells are dying. you feel overwhelmed by what, like, you know, you're in many ways it's isolating also, because it's just you and you're talking to a toddler. There's twinkle ringing in your head, and it can be that. You know, everybody's situation is different, but at some point, I guess, you know, all we can do is what is right for us. So if you're the kind of mom who has to go to work and feel bad about leaving your kids with somebody else, you have to know you're doing what you can, and you're doing your best. You're doing it for your kids, and you're a good person for doing that. And for the other person who is at home, you know, they're like so many smart people have said, you know, this will also pass, and they are only young for a little while, and now you have the chance. So every time you have to do the dishes, you remind yourself that, you know, it will pass. And maybe the dishes you will have to continue doing, but they are only little, and you know, and it's such a special time to have, and it's just as challenging and tiresome as it is doing the chores and all the other stuff. You can just focus on the great thing that you have your children and you can see them. And it's a big blessing. So we, you know, if you have a way to find the positive in it, it is, you know, a blessing. But sometimes, you know, people have really hard life and very difficult circumstance, then you can't tell them, like, you know, be positive. Like, that doesn't help. So it just, whatever you need to do to feel good and what is right for yourself and your children, your family, that's all that you can do. And everybody's trying their best, and nobody has any, you know.
So we still want to know, like, how is your life? Do you get at some point and you feel like you're not balancing it? Like at some point, like you're doing it so much for the kids and forgetting about yourself. Does it ever happen to you?
Of course.
So,
and you as well, right? Of course. And especially when we start doing this whole parenting thing, you don't know, because you feel like, oh, this little person and is totally relying on you to provide it with everything, and you obviously don't have much faith in yourself. And so it's like, you know, 4 o'clock and you haven't eaten in the whole day, and those things happen, and it's okay. I think by the time I had the second kid, I think I learned it a little bit better, but now I think I have learned like more to balance it and to do it in a more normal manner. Because before it used to be like I wake up, do all their food, do all their stuff, then the next meal, and by evening I'm just like barely there. So and also the guilt thing, like you know, every time I buy something special or I cook something special, I make sure like their needs are met. I'm chasing them with the food, but then I forget to eat. And every time I do something good for myself, like even if I go like to just get my I don't know, hair done, I will be feeling so guilty, you know, what a terrible person I am over here. You know, I'm here doing this, and my kids are like there needing me, and what a terrible person I am. So I do feel that, but you know, ultimately the kids are better off when the mom is calm and happier, and so you need to do what you need to do to take care of yourself. And also I feel like, you know, there is nobody in this world who would take care of them better than I can, and there's nobody who would love them or have their best interests more than me. And so it's important for their sake to keep me also healthy, right? Before I was like, oh, I can eat tomorrow or whatever. Like, you know, I'm like, oh, my knee is hurting. Oh, well, I go to the doctor like next week when they're napping, when there's time. Or, you know, I have to take this medicine, but, you know, let me finish all the chores. But it's not like that. I think it's now I understand more clearly that it's more important that for their sake that I owe it to them to keep myself healthy. Because now if in the name of, you know, doing chores or playing with them, if I neglect my health, then tomorrow I fall ill or
be there for them.
If anything happens, then what a horrible thing I have done to them when I could have done better. So I feel like everybody is responsible. I think instead of looking at it as a guilt, you should feel like you have a responsibility to take care of yourself, to take care of your health. So, you know, doing your regular exercise, doing your little reading or movie time or whatever to keep it good up here too. So for their sake, and you owe it to yourself and to them.
To have it be okay. To be okay as a mom. Keeping yourself healthy, taking care of yourself. Don't neglect yourself because you're trying to take care of your kids. Try to balance the two. Take care of the kids and take care of yourself as well. Okay, we have more to ask. How do you find life now? How are you happy as a mom? Are you a happy mom? Are you happy?
Yes, I'm happy.
You're really happy.
I am happy. Thank God I'm happy. But that doesn't mean, you know, I am cranky sometimes. If I haven't eaten, like, you know, when I want to eat, I get cranky, I get irritable, and if I haven't slept enough, I do get frustrated with things. That's just normal. I'm happy doesn't mean I'm like on a high all the time. I'm happy means
you're most of the time.
I am happy. I am happy with my choices.
Generally happy.
Yes, I will say I'm a happy person. I was not a happy person when I was doing my PhD or all those things. I was so stressed out. I wasn't really happy. But with the kids, it's a lot of work, but I am actually happy.
I know what that means.
So the little activities might be, you know, like you feel like a challenge, but I am happy, and then I feel like this is the right thing for me. I'm not going to be, you know, 80 or 50 and regret having spent 3 years with my kids taking care of them. Like, this is something I know I will cherish, and I'm so grateful I had the opportunity to do it. And it has been a very fulfilling thing, and I have learned so many things to be patient, to a lot of things. Actually, it's patience. About patience
is one important thing with raising kids. I know what you're talking about.
So, which I didn't have much before. So these are important virtues I have learned in the last few years. So I think, I am happy, and I think it's not just about you know, raising kids, or the happiness isn't really attached to that. The happiness really is about feeling comfortable with yourself, in that knowing that you are doing the right thing for you and people who depend on you, and people that you should take care of. And I feel like I'm doing the right thing in the best way that I can, and I know. So I feel happy.
Okay, that's great. Anyway, okay, now we are coming to the end of our discussion, but we just want to know, what are some of the challenges? Yes, you're happy, we know you're happy, but what are some of the challenges you've gone through as a mom? ever since you had your kids like 4 years ago. You say one of them is, the first one is 4 years. So what are some of the challenges you've encountered as a mom, and what advice you give to those ones facing the same challenges out there?
I think many things are challenging. I think one of the things is, I would say, very isolating.
Yeah.
Because you are all the time with the kids and doing, keeping them happy and active. It's hard to have a social life, right, when they're young. And then on top of that, the pandemic happened, so that's finished.
So enclosed inside.
Yeah, so sometimes it was like, my husband is the only grown-up I have like real life conversation with before the pandemic as well, like when we moved here. Like otherwise on the phone with my parents, but other than that, it would be like a whole week. The only person I spoke to in real life, that's not the toddlers, is my husband and the person who comes for delivery.
For deliveries.
Here's the change and thank you for the delivery. Literally, that would be all for weeks, and that's not a normal situation. So all day you're singing, you're playing like little games, and thank God I was able to talk to my husband. But still, like it's a very isolating situation. And now we've started watching movies and doing other things. But back when they were very little, we didn't really even do much movies. I would sometimes be like feeding the baby and watching Game of Thrones to just keep my sanity intact. But that's how insane the whole situation is. So it can be isolating. I will say for that, I think, keep your WhatsApp going, because as a young person, you don't really always have the time to pick up the call and respond instantly to things. But, you leave your WhatsApp stuff, people can reply when they want, and you can get back to it when you can. And but it's important for your sanity to have human contact.
Socially.
And some kind of social life. And I think also being friends with other young parents helps, so the kids can play and that kind of stuff.
Play this with other kids.
Yes. Okay. So that will improve your social life, and which is good for you. And I think also when they were very little, we would actually when they were very little, we would always be outside, and that was a nice thing. But here, when we came here, it was quite hot. We are in the UAE. So it's summertime now, and it's quite hot, but they want to be outside, so now we go swimming every day and things like that. So we spend a few hours a day swimming. That keeps everybody healthy, and also it's manageable. So things like that, like physically, like moving around, exercise is so important. And exercise is not just about just the being active part of it, but it also keeps your body healthy, and it gives good, healthy, happy chemicals in your head that makes you happy person. And it's such a good bonding thing for the whole family. And I found that, and it's necessary for everybody, because it's a very abnormal situation to be sitting inside all the time, and then you're mad at each other, and kids are cranky, and that's unhelpful for everybody. So I think that's one thing I found helpful, is to do your best to have family time outside. Whatever games they like and whatever it is, to spend time outside, some fresh air, those things is good, like a meditation. It keeps everybody calm. And I think, and also, eating healthy is something that we all forget, and you have to, you're tired, and then you're like, oh, let me order whatever junk food, and then you stuff yourself. Then you stuff yourself with all the bad food, then you look bad, you feel bad, and you're just giving all the bad things to your body, so it's not doing great. So instead, get all the berries and all the good, healthy food, and you exercise, you look good, you feel good, and everybody's happy.
You're happy.
And you feel good about yourself.
Okay, Sneha, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for sharing with us. It has been a great discussion with you. So thank you so much, viewers, for joining us. You've heard what Sneha had to tell us today. Thank you for being there. Thank you for joining us for our first episode, and we shall be coming in with other episodes. Don't forget to like our Instagram page, our YouTube page, Let's Chat with Wellness Mommy, our Twitter page, and our Facebook page. Thank you so much. See you next time.